the thumbs up when you come into the live stream. Make sure that the audio is doing well. I got this here mic going, making sure that the audio stays nice and clean for you guys. So make sure that's going. Give me the thumbs up again when you come into the live stream. We're going to be talking about why you should be enjoying it while it lasts. Something I was thinking about the other day, as many of the economists out there and many of the news lines and headline or news articles that you're reading out there are saying that it's a booming economy. And when I think about it being a booming economy, I think, man, what happens when it turns down? Because a lot of people right now are feeling it. They're feeling that pain and suffering from the ever increasing amounts of inflation and then the rising unemployment, and how this could actually be a very cautionary tale going into the future. But yet you hear out there on the mainstream media how awesome it really is out there. And so for me, I'm thinking, well, you might as well enjoy it while it lasts. I mean, all these people talking about how awesome it is to see the Dow rally today. And I think, well, it's awesome for the asset holders if you happen to be one of those who got in or didn't bail out when it was too low or too volatile or too scary for you. You ended up sitting in an asset that goes up in quite an extreme fashion over the last, years, decade, has been really exponential. Are going to enjoy, well, you better enjoy it while it lasts. Like, me enjoying the nice weather here. It's February. It shouldn't look like this. And while it's really nice, everybody should be enjoying it here in the Pacific Northwest, because we don't get this experience. Normally, it's raining right now and be very cold. And I mean, it is chilly in the mornings, but look at it out here. It's absolutely beautiful. And I don't know if you can see it, but there's sea lions barking in the background. Not that I enjoy that any, but they're popping up here. And you can see a couple of them swimming right along the shore right there. I don't know. They're right on the other side of the tree. Boom. You see them just swim right there? So this is awesome. Like, why wouldn't you want to enjoy something like this? And as people look out there at what it is that's going on, they think about all the horribleness that is existing. And I think to myself, why would you want to do that? Don't look at the horribleness. Look at all the awesomeness that is out there. Think about how the ability to go out and enjoy the weather in a time that you would never really be able to enjoy the weather is now present here. And I get to take full advantage of it. Here I am making this wonderful video, and everybody is enjoying the idea of what it is that would be here in the nice weather and experiencing that with me. Like, that's a good experience. Enjoy that while you can. But now we could sit here and talk about how bad it's going to be and how, horrible the experience is. And I think to myself, well, if you do that, then you probably would never get to enjoy this wonderful weather, right? That's how I kind of look at this. So, going into the economy and diving into it, you're going to find depression, like things of very depressionary feelings and emotions and ideas that come from it. That's what kind of studying the economy ends up doing. I mean, they don't call it the dismal science for nothing. It's because it is a depressionary feeling. But when you look at it, not as something that is depressionary, but something that is more of a cyclical aspect, like it's going to happen down these particular roads. And if you don't take, precautions or just take warning of it, then you're probably going to end up suffering the consequences from that. So when I look at the economy and I think about some of the horridness that could come from it, I don't look at that as like, oh man, here's this warning, you better take heed or else you're going to end up failing because they're going to do all this stuff to you. It's more like understanding the situation, knowing that there's probably going to be a lot of people out there who do not understand what it is that's happening. They're going to position themselves in such a way they get very much hurt. And you can then look at that and say, well, I'm not going to go down that road, right? People will say, well, you're part of one of them, or you're, just wanting to step on the poor people's face or something of that nature. And it's not that, that's not it. Understanding your situation is different from saying, hey man, these people don't understand their situation. They're not going to take the right, precautions for it. I am, and that's not me stepping on their face, right? That's not what's going on here. What's going on is you positioning yourself to be in the most appropriate possible outcome. And a lot of times that ends up being something of asset allocation, being into rental properties, buying into the bond market if that's the security that you're looking for. Not that a lot of people would find security in it, but a lot of people might. So knowing what it is that's most appropriate for you may not necessarily be this awesome experience for the poor individuals out there. Because you have to think for just a minute. We're in a situation in which that the people who have assets are essentially the holders of the debt. Then you have people who are paying debt, right? So now if every time we have an expansion of the currency, having the expansion of the money supply, having an expansion of this currency, what you are doing is you are issuing out more debt. Now, there are some people who are going to buy that and hold it and then get paid back. And then there's other people who are essentially going to promise to pay that debt. Now, the people who promise to pay that debt are enslaved in the system. And that's a problem that they now feel and see, and then they want to blame the system on this, right? They want to blame the powers that be for creating this situation. And I totally get it. Like, I totally understand why you would want to blame the powers that be out there. But you also have to understand that nobody forced you to take out that student loan debt. Nobody forced you to take out that car loan. Nobody forced you to take out the credit card debt. Now, a lot of times people have positioned themselves in such a way that if they don't take out the credit card debt, they're going to find their lives diminishing ever increasingly farther into the abyss. And that is a very scary situation for a lot of individuals out there who don't know what it is that they can do to try and get extra money. And I love this term, extra money, because it's all the money beyond the money you're already making. Isn't that a good one? Side hustles, online sales. There's a million different ways that you can make money now. And to think that you do not have an opportunity to take advantage of that is really not, I just can't see it, right? There's so many different opportunities, and not everybody is going to go and do DoorDash. I get it, right? But there's a lot of ways that you can do online sales. I mean, even I've developed this course and trying to push a course and develop a course. Anybody who can have a skill can then try and do something of this nature. It may not bring in a living, but it could bring in some extra money. And once you start figuring out extra money, you can start figuring out a way to get that extra money to then have a return. And that is what you're going to have to do going into the future. And you should take full advantage of it while you can, right? Like, this isn't something that existed 20, 30 years ago. You didn't have the ability to download something as simple as Cash App and then start buying into the stock market and getting dividend paying stocks. This isn't something that existed for the average everyday person 30 years ago. And now you have the ability to do this. Think about the people who are doing that, and then now separating themselves from everybody else because they had such easy capability of being able to do it. When I was first thinking about buying into the stock market, it was like E-Trade accounts that had like a $10 minimum to it. So $10 to get in, $10 to get out. Somebody who was trying to do some small purchases into the stock market never had an opportunity. You would have to do thousands of dollars to make it worthy. But now you can buy in on Robinhood or Cash App with just $5. You can buy $5 worth of stocks. You don't have to go and dump tons of money into it. People who do this regularly over their lifetime will be in a position that is far better than everybody else who is going down the line. All right, guys, I'm going to have to cut this one a little bit short. I have a limited amount of battery, and can you guys hear all those barking sea lions? Oh my goodness. It's like right there. He's right over there. All right. Good for you, deplorable. See you. Love God. All right. I'm listening to Across the Aurora Neighbors Fight. It's pretty entertaining. Oreo? Or Aria? What is that? All right. Proof making it happen. All right. Oh my God, the stock markets are so easy to get into. Great point. Right? And these guys are going to come up on the shore. All right. Yeah, we hear them. That was cool. Yeah, well, he's right here. Let me see if he pops up. He might actually come right up to shore here. If he does, I'll try and video him. They're right there. There's a whole bunch of them out in the river right now. Yeah, let me show you guys. Right Pretty cool, huh? See, this is where I live. This is, people say, man, you could have found a cheaper, or yeah, very cheap. You could have found a less expensive place to live. And I thought to myself, yeah, but is it as nice as this? Is it as friendly as this? Is it as clean as this? Do I get to enjoy this every single day? I mean, I'm sitting on a bench behind the place where I work. This is my view every single day. Like when I come and park my truck, this is what I look at. So when people say you could have found a better place to live, and I'm thinking, I don't think so. I don't think I could find a better place to live. This is it. And it's hard to live here, and it's expensive to live here, and it costs me a lot. And that means that I am not going to be driving new cars. That means I get to enjoy this. That's what it means, right? I watched Goonies last night with the kids. They loved it. Yeah, the Goonies is a great movie. Great movie. Looks like you're in Warrenton. I am not in Warrenton. What is happening is the YouTube app flips the image, so now you're looking at the bridge in the wrong direction. So really, it's a mirror. I'm sitting in I'm in Astoria right now. I'm behind where I work, and yeah, you're looking at you're looking towards the mouth of the river right there. But the bridge is reversed because of the camera app. It's not the camera; it's the YouTube app on a self-looking image, like the reflection camera. All right, another beautiful day, and the neighborhood is awesome. Yeah, it is, Deja. Awesome view. Thank you so much. Looks like you're in Washington. I'm not in Washington. Again, the bridge is reversed because of the image of the app, right? I'm in Astoria. To protect the users and guests. Is that what it is? No, because like if I flip the camera around, it's right. You know, it would be amazing view. Yeah, thank you. Support your local baby seal club. I get that one. That one was a good one. I'm beating the collapse. I left the country. Yeah, but I don't know if leaving the country is going to do it, because the dollar is a global currency, right? And so if you have the dollar collapse, you are going to have world transactions coming to an end, and people are going to suffer the pain and misery of that. Even if they try not to involve themselves with the dollar, they're still going to face the consequences from it, just because of the sheer amount of transactions that dollars do. They will cause the demand for other currencies to skyrocket. Their exports will go to crap, and nobody will be able to buy their stuff. So yeah, that's you just because you left the country doesn't mean you exited the dollar. All right, just adjust your good times 100. Big swings in silver and Bitcoin. I'm long-term holder, but it's still stressful. Why? Don't let it be stressful. Don't look at it, right? Don't let it be stressful. Why is it stressful? To me, it's fun to watch. Get some popcorn and watch it fly. If you're a long-term holder, then it shouldn't bother you one little bit, especially if you've been in Bitcoin. That stuff is so volatile. You should be used to it by now. I mean, I don't know how long you've been into it, but for me, it's not something that I think about or stress about unless I was intending on using the money. Now, don't get me wrong. When I watched it run up, I'm thinking, man, maybe I should start thinking about getting into some real estate and stuff. And then I watched, tens of thousands of dollars go out of the portfolio, out of my silvers and Bitcoin. And I'm thinking, well, I wasn't intending on selling it all anyway. So no big deal, right? All right. Please prep yourself before the next COVID comes. Yeah. I don't know if they really need a COVID thing going right now. I mean, you think about it, COVID was more to like kick off, in my opinion, it was used more to kick off an inflationary spiral, severing the supply chain, and then stimulus packages. And the need for that, again, I don't know if is really necessary, especially for the monetary system. To me, they got the monetary system right where they want it. Elevated interest rates, elevated inflation expectation, and a rising neutral interest rate. bang, right in the line. Like I don't see them having any issues whatsoever. I mean, think about it. They got a resilient economy that's booming. How many, economists are out there saying it? The powers that be are saying it. Everybody's saying it except for the working class. And the working class ain't going to say it because they don't really matter anymore and they are suffering. But it's unfortunate. We're a consumer-based economy and the working class isn't the consumer. Right? But that's okay. We understand that. We got other things that we can do. We don't need to work. We don't need to stress about them and figuring that part out and them trying to figure out how it is that they're going to create an economy that's going to be beneficial for the working class individual. We've got many more opportunities. Screw them, right? We'll figure it out ourselves. In fact, we're going to take advantage of the situation. We're going to become asset holders, and there's nothing that they can do to stop us from doing it. But we have to know to do it. And all right, we have to know to do it, and then we actually have to do it. And that's kind of hard, especially as it gets difficult going into the future with our day jobs. That's why I keep saying it over and over again. Your day job is great to have. Like, it takes care of my daily business and everything I got going on. But it's never going to it's never going to get me out of the rat race, right? It will just not, it just doesn't work like that. But that's okay. I'm not depending on my day job to get me out of the rat race. I got other things that I am attempting to do to try and get out of the rat race, which means that I have to put in a lot of effort beyond that of my day job. And that isn't exactly something that is very, like, not a lot of people are ambitious enough to do that. And now I look at how much effort I put in and I'm thinking, man, I am not a lazy person. But then again, I think about what it is that I did to try and get the flow coming to me. And I think, like, I don't do very physical demanding stuff, right? I do sales, I do bingo calling, I do these, YouTube videos. Like, none of that is really physically demanding. It does take a lot of work and time and effort and energy to try and come up with the videos, to show up on time, to be present there, to have the right energy in order to make the things happen. So there is effort that has to go into it, but it's not that difficult, right? I mean, it's kind of easy. It was hard to do that, to get into that easier flow of position. Now, the more I do it, the more I start to acquire the assets that just pay me passively. And as I do that, right, I'm able to separate myself in a lot of ways from just what I had been before, which was just an average, everyday working class individual who was struggling to try and make it. That's it. End of story. Is a blue-collar job enough? Absolutely. Well, in some areas, somewhere, somebody might be able to do that, but no, most people are not going to be able to do that. Yeah. Oh, good day. What if I get a blue-collar job and a dollar cost average? If you could, that's the thing. Say you had a regular job and you lived at home with your parents. Is that the story? Because if that's your story, dude, you have an opportunity unlike a lot of people have out there. But if your story is, no, I got to move out when I'm 18 because my parents are sick of me, right? That's a different story. Or is your story, my parents moved away and I'm living with my sister? Right? Is that the story you're telling? Like, these are completely different. So if you are sitting in a situation in which that you have the option to then live in a house that somebody else is essentially owning or paying for, and then you can contribute in some way, and it's not overwhelming you to, like, rent an apartment and have a car to make sure you show up on work on time, and you can, like, condition your life to be in this very low outflow and high inflow, and it doesn't even need to be that high. If you can just get your outflow to be very low, you have an option. You got opportunities, and dollar cost averaging and something like that from a young age means that you don't even really have to try that hard if you can maintain that sort of existence. Most people need too much in their life. They need a nice house. They need to move out. They need a nice car. They need to have all the wonderful things in their life to prove to other people that they are worthy of their existence and of their attention, or whatever it is that they have in their life that then keeps them from actually succeeding, which means you got to cut back on your expenses, put your money towards secure rate of interest beyond that of your occupation, and do that essentially forever. Like, if you don't do that, then it's like going to be hard. It's going to be real hard. 300 people watching, right on. I'm sorry, guys, if this thing cuts out. I'm going to go as long as I can here, but my camera here is going to die before too long. UE in chat in the house. Larry Bird, it's great to see you, brother. 316 people who are now watching, 85 likes. Reach over and hit that like button before the video comes to an end. By hitting that like button, you'll get the YouTube algorithm to spread this video around. It's a little bit of a slow start, but I think it's a great video here as we dive into it. What do you think about COMEX? Maybe fairy tales will be true this time in March. I don't know. I don't try to predict what it is that's going to happen within these markets. I am really good at calling out the lumber market simply by calling out some of the things that I am experiencing and seeing from the position that I hold. Now, when I call out lumber, I very rarely call out an actual number on where it's going to, but I can say certain things like under 550 per thousand, mill curtailments are going to run rampant because mills do not want to operate under 550 per thousand. Some of them do, a lot of them don't. I know that 550 per thousand is that questionable spot. So it has a hard time getting under 550 per thousand and staying there. I can see that. Like, that's pretty easy for me. When you start getting up to 650 per thousand, right? And then all of a sudden, now you have a lot of mills that are going to be operating and it gets difficult. Okay, guys, I got to go. My camera's going to die. Uneducated economist, you let me know. Oh, man, I can't even see it now.